Hollywood. So great.
One, two, three, lift. Thing weighs a ton. Oh, drop it.
I'm okay. I'm fine. Just had a pain in my side. Oh.
What's he got in here? Money?
Something I can do for you?
Well, I'm here to see Mr. Winkler.
Oh. There you go. Oh, easy. Come on, Brooks. Are you okay? I don't know if they'll open it up again just for you.
Lift it higher. One. Come on, lift it. Try it again. Everybody ready?
Most folks think that it's a strange occupation. Some folks call us a deranged aggregation. We can't help it. We're just half of his way.
Mama always wanted me to be your physician.
Dad said he'd rather I become a beautician, but we can't help it. We're just half of his way. 'Cause it sure beats working for a living. It ain't much of a living these days. Yeah, it sure beats working for a living. We're just half of this way.
Okay, back to work.
It's nobody famous. It's nobody famous. Oh, that thing is heavy. Sad day, isn't it?
I'll say.
Did you know Buddy long?
No. No, I never even met him. See, I sent him some cartoon samples from Duluth, you know, some storyboards and stuff. And he wrote back and said that maybe if I came to Hollywood, he might be able to find some kind of job for me.
And you came all the way out here to find this.
I don't even know where I'm going to stay.
That's tough luck.
On the other hand, compared to Buddy, his luck's pretty good. Of course, then again, old Bud's got a place to stay tonight. He's a writer.
Why was Mr. Winkler lying in state in there?
Aggie thought it was appropriate that he stay at the duck factory, right up to the end.
Okay, what do you say? Let's roll.
She seems to be holding up well.
Who?
Aggie over there, Mrs. Winkler.
Aggie isn't Mrs. Winkler. Aggie's the business manager.
Well, then which one is Mrs. Winkler?
I gotta go.
Andrea, are you coming?
Wouldn't miss it.
It's nice meeting you.
Come on.
Hi.
You just gonna hang around here?
I just don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Want to come with us?
Where?
I don't know. To the funeral?
Could I? Oh, that'd be great. Hi again. Excuse me. Aren't you Brooks Carmichael?
Yeah.
Probably your biggest fan, Skip Tarkenton.
Skip? Skip.
I've been seeing your name on cartoons ever since I was a little kid. You're great.
No.
Are you an animator too?
Assistant film cutter. Actually, I'm the cutter, but Buddy wouldn't promote me because he'd have to pay me more.
Looks like Buddy isn't the only thing that's dead around here.
There goes Buddy.
Aggie, I wonder if I could have a little push.
Okay, guys. 1, 2, lift.
Oh.
Let me help.
Thank you.
What time did you tell him to be here?
Tell who?
The minister.
Was I supposed to do that?
Okay, listen up. We're gonna have to wing this.
What?
The widow Winkler forgot to get a minister.
What are we supposed to do?
I went to a funeral once where everyone told nice stories about the guy who died.
This is Buddy Winkler we're talking about. We don't have a nice story between us.
I'll go first. I'm sure everybody here knows that nobody was closer to Buddy than I was. Nobody. I'll never forget those nights at the studio when we worked till after midnight, and sometimes all night. And now, that dear man is gone. I remember so well the last time I saw him last Tuesday. I was on the phone getting estimates on having the toilet fixed when Buddy looked up from his desk and winked at me in that way of his, and he said, Ag. He used to call me Ag. He said, I don't know how the duck factory would get through without you. If anything should ever happen to me, I want you to promise me you'll take over. I intend to keep that promise.
As I stand here on this very solemn occasion,
Wall,
I'll never forget the first time I met Buddy.
you're doing the duck.
Oops. Darn it. Excuse me.
Anyway, I went to Buddy and asked him if I could borrow $7,000 for the triple bypass surgery. He sat there and thought about it and said, Frank, you know how he liked to kid us pretending he didn't know our names. Frank, he said, I really would like to do it, but there's this speedboat I got my eye on. I'm going to have to say no. Of course, I didn't have the operation, which was just great, because it turned out that they mixed up my angiogram with somebody else's. So I'm here to thank Buddy for the fact that I didn't go through any of that unnecessary surgery.
Thank you, Frank.
So it was my turn to help Buddy wash his car. And I said, Buddy, a lot of us have been thinking, and, well, we'd like to have a group medical plan. Buddy put his arm around my shoulder and he said, hey, why didn't you say something before? I'll fire the whole bunch of you and you can all go over to Disney. I hear they've got a great medical plan. And he turned the hose on me.
Your turn.
Who, me? I didn't even know him.
You knew him well enough to be a pallbearer.
I didn't know Mr. Winkler at all. Well, but to me, every kid who ever watched Saturday morning cartoons, Buddy Winkler was a household name, like Spider-Man.
Good choice.
I grew up with the message that Mr. Winkler, through Dippy Duck, of course, sent to the youth of America. That no matter how many times Dippy was flattened by Irving the Terrible, or kicked in the teeth by Rotten Ronaldo, that somehow his good old-fashioned American gumption would always prevail. So even as I stand here on this sad occasion, that philosophy fills me with hope, knowing that you will pick yourselves up after being kicked in the teeth by his death. Dust yourselves off and face whatever the future brings.
The kid is running for something.
Buddy would have loved this. Boy, we should do this more often. In fact, I want you to all come up to Casa Contento for some food and drinks, okay?
Okay, that's nice.
Thanks.
Well, great. Then I'll see y'all there.
Anybody ever been to Buddy's house?
Anybody know where the hell it is?
Oh, I was there a couple of times, but it was so dark I don't think I could find it again.
Then how are we gonna get there?
Follow that car!
How do you like this? Buddy told me he lived in an apartment in Burbank.
And he couldn't afford to fix the toilets at the studio because he was almost bankrupt.
I can see why. A place like this must have just about broken him.
I decided to change it to something a little less somber. I mean, Buddy wouldn't want me to spend the rest of my life in mourning, do you think?
Sure, he wouldn't.
What was your name again?
Skip Tarkenton.
Oh, right. Oh, of course. Buddy just thought the world of you.
No, see, he couldn't have. I just arrived in town today, so I really didn't know him at all.
Well, hey, I can relate to that. I only knew him for about 3 weeks myself. So I guess you and I knew him less than anybody who's here. Come on, sit down.
3 weeks? That's all?
Yeah, but you can really get to know a person pretty well in 3 weeks.
How did you, come to meet?
Oh, well, it's a cute story. Buddy's wife died, so he came up to Vegas to work out all of his grief. And then he saw me in this topless ice show, and that was like it.
Topless. I've played a little hockey.
Oh, well, to tell you the truth, I can just barely stand up on the ice, but you don't exactly have to be Peggy Fleming if you're willing to skate with your shirt off. You know what I mean? What are you going to do now?
I guess I'll look for a place to stay and then try and find a job.
Well, hey, you could always stay here. There's tons of room.
Well, that's very kind of you, Mrs. Winkler, but,
Probably wouldn't look too good right after his funeral and everything. Well, I guess I better go talk to the others.
What was that all about?
nothing.
I'm warning you. Don't try to insinuate yourself into a job through her.
Oh.
I see what you're up to.
Oh, I'm not...
All this may be hers, but the studio is mine. Have you got that?
But I was only...
You want a job, you come to me for it, not her. Is that clear?
Perfectly. You mean I could get a job here?
Don't be coy. You'll start like everybody else with our apprentice program.
All right.
Where are you planning on staying?
I don't know. Is there a Y around here someplace?
You like to live the high life, don't you, kid?
Why don't you stay in Buddy's siesta room? You won't be using it.
Siesta room?
And Buddy like to take a little nap every afternoon.
My grandfather does that.
Not those kind of naps, Skipper.
I'll be a son of a gun.
This is really something else. I've never actually seen a mirror on the ceiling before.
Buddy liked to shave in bed.
Had an air conditioner. We're sweating our brains out all summer, and he had an air conditioner.
What are you doing in here?
Skip was looking for a place to stay.
Well, he can't stay here. Who's on phone duty this week?
Excuse me, I'll get that.
This was Buddy's own special room, his private place.
Of course, I'd be willing to pay it.
$112 a month. Take it or leave it.
It's somebody from the programming department at the network. They want to know who's in charge now.
Hey, wait a minute. Who said you were in charge?
Yeah, nobody believed that cock and bull story you were telling about Buddy at the funeral.
Is that right? Oh, well, in that case, Wally, then, why don't you take it?
Oh, well, I didn't mean me.
How about you, Andrea? Do you want to talk to the network?
Some other time.
Roland? Pass. I'll take it in my office.
You don't suppose there's any way we could get Buddy back?
I forgot a trade. Buddy for Aggie and a minor league shortstop.
This your stuff?
Yeah.
Listen, if you go out the back door and across the alley, there's this place called Poncho's. How about running over there and getting 6 cups of coffee?
Sure. 6 coffees. I'll be right back.
Right.
Oh, excuse me. Coffee run.
Bathroom's that way.
Look at this. No wonder Buddy was going to hire him.
Yeah, the man's good. He's got a lot of range. Where'd he go?
I sent him for coffee.
If Aggie sees this stuff, I'll be the one going for coffee.
Make mine cream and sugar.
Nobody animates like you, Mr. Carmichael.
Oh, sure. Lots of people do. And please call me Brooks.
No, I mean it. Look at his tongue swatting flies. He looks demented. Just an idea.
Yeah.
But what if when Sir Thanks-a-Lot is standing there by his horse and Dippy brings him the ladder, Dippy puts it down in the mud and Thanks-a-Lot pushes him aside and climbs up on it. And when he does, it begins to sink into the mud, and Thanks-a-Lot only gets about halfway up on the horse when the saddle comes loose and Thanks-a-Lot spins around and falls off into the mud.
And the horse sees Thanks' bloom and thinks it's a flower and sniffs it.
The horse sneezes. Right out of the picture.
And Thanks looks up and sees him coming down, and he knows it's my time. We can't do it.
Why not?
Aggie won't let us. Too expensive. She and Buddy made a deal with a guy in Panama. He's got a whole bunch of Indians. He's teaching them to animate at 50 cents an hour.
That's terrible.
Better than grinding corn.
Maybe you and I could do this. I'll work nights, weekends.
That'd be great, but I don't know.
What's this?
Aggie asked me to make a list of directors who are available to replace Buddy.
Well, why don't you direct? You're better than any of these guys.
Me? I am over the hill. I haven't got what it takes anymore.
Who told you that?
Buddy. Every time I ask for a raise.
Well, he was wrong. You're just as good as you ever were.
I was never that good.
When I was a kid, all I ever wanted to be was another Brooks Carmichael.
You got me confused with somebody else.
No, I don't.
Buddy Winkler Productions? No, he's dead. Can anybody else help you? No, she's at the network.
Okay, fans, it's moving day.
What's the matter? What happened?
Aggie insulted my writing.
So? Buddy always insulted your writing, too.
Yeah, but he was doing that so I couldn't ask for more money. I respected that. But I'm not doing a rewrite on a perfectly good script for somebody who doesn't even have a sense of humor. I'm out of here.
Okay, well, if you're going, I'm going, too.
Hey, Roland, Marty. I know I'm the new guy here and all, and I don't want to speak out of turn or anything, but what are you, nuts? There are hundreds of animators out there. The only thing they're drawing is unemployment checks.
Maybe he's right. At least we have jobs.
So does the guy who cleans the buffalo cage at the zoo.
Don't knock what you do, guys. Let's, for the moment, forget the fact that there's unemployment out there. Rampant unemployment. Forget the fact. Remember what it is you do here. All of you. You bring this little guy to millions of people every week, to little kids and sick people and shut-ins. Just for the sake of argument, let's say you can get other jobs. How can you let his fans down?
Oh, you had to bring up shut-ins.
How'd things go at the network, Aggie?
They thought with Buddy gone, they were going to be able to walk all over me. Well, I went right in there and I said, look, there's no way we're going to keep doing the Dippy Duck Show unless you give us more money. In fact, I'm going to demand that you let me take it elsewhere.
You got us canceled, didn't you?
I'm gone.
I'm with you.
Hi, guys. What's new?
What's new is we're canceled.
Canceled?
Look, guys, Buddy and I have got you through some bad times before. I'll do it again. Come on, guys. Every cloud has a silver lining.
Hi. Hi. I just had a meeting with Buddy's accountant going over his liquid assets. And Mill told me that Buddy Winkler Realty is generating good cash flow. And so is Buddy's chain of adult motels and his religious radio station in Shreveport. But that Buddy Winkler Productions itself is a real turkey. So he thinks I ought to sell it.
Sell it?
Mrs. Winkler, you can't sell Buddy Winkler Productions.
But I have to. It's a real turkey.
What I mean is, Buddy Winkler Productions isn't just this building or a name. It's people. It's Brooks Carmichael, a legend. 40 years in the cartoon business, who even in his grief at your late husband's passing sits hunched over his drawing table, stopping only for an occasional cat nap.
Aggie, it's the network.
I'll take it in my office.
It's Marty Fenneman, probably one of the great wits in America today.
Did you hear the one about the nun, the rabbi, and the kangaroo?
Did you write that?
About our little misunderstanding this afternoon. I wasn't myself. It's been such a strain trying to hold things together these last few months. Buddy, rest his soul, became completely senile. His poor old brain went to cottage cheese toward the end. I begged him to let me make some changes in the Dippy Duck Show to take advantage of the new technology to make it cheaper. Yes, that's right, cheaper.
Of course, there's Buddy's own inimitable spirit, which will never die, as long as there are friends like these to cherish him in loving memory.
Oh, I don't know what I could have been thinking about, but I don't know how to run a cartoon studio.
And that's why we're here, right, gang?
I'll follow you anywhere, Mrs. Winkler. What about the rest of you guys?
And there's this fabulous animator that every studio in town has been bidding for. And I thought, well, what the heck? Price is no object. And he's decided to accept our offer. Oh, and he has the most wonderful ideas for breathing new life into the show. So, what I'm asking is that you don't cancel the show until he's had a chance to show you some of his marvelous proposals. 48 hours? And they say networks are cold and heartless. See you then.
I decided not to sell the studio.
Wise choice.
Who's that guy you're talking about?
Yeah, he sounds great.
You better be.
Who is he?
You.
Me.
If you can't pull it off, I'll see to it you never work in this town again. You'll never work anywhere again.
Certainly sounds fair.
Where's the cat? Quack.